Okay, so first off, what I want you to do is you're going to draw this block in Fusion. So I just did it here in Paint just to make it a little bit easier so I could explain what you're drawing. So you're drawing this block. This block is 2 inches here on the top, and the height of the drawing, it's 3 inches wide here, and it's 0.75 thick. You can create that in Fusion however you feel is appropriate to create that in Fusion. Once you have that created, you're going to put these two holes in. Put those holes in. They're going to go 0.25 diameter, and they're going to go a ½ inch deep, or 0.5 deep. Where these holes are is from this side. It's 0.75 over to the center of the hole, and it's 1.5 inches in between the two holes. So there's what you're going to draw as your first new part. You're going to save this as whole block in the brackets folder. So in your Actobotics brackets folder, save this as whole block. Good luck. Okay, so for your next part, this is what your next part's going to look like. Your next part is going to be this. So create another part. It's going to be a rectangular shape. It's going to be 0.75 tall by 6 inches. Make sure it's fully constrained there. Once you're finished with that, you're going to finish your sketch. And you're going to extrude this drawing into this. You're going to extrude it at a 1/4 inch thick. That's a little bit large there. You're going to extrude this as a 1/4 inch thick. And you're going to put a fillet of a 0.375 radius fillet on all 4 of the corners of it. And then you're going to add a slot to it. The slot is going to be 0.25 wide across the slot by 5 1/4 inches long from center to center. And you're going to start at 0.375 out of the end. So there's all the measurements on that. You can go and get this saved, or get this drawn. Save this as slot bracket in your same brackets folder. So slot bracket in your brackets folder. Okay, so what this obviously is going to look like here in Fusion is this. We've got our nice little block made here. Loving it. Beautiful little block, whole block. And we got our slot bracket. Beautiful. Okay, so now what I want you to do is create a new design. Our new design is going to be an assembly. All we're going to make this is we're going to go up to, remember when you start an assembly, the first step is you have to save it. So we're going to go up there to save. Where we're going to save it to, I don't want to save it to my brackets folder. I want to save it back to that main folder. So I'm going to go back to here. Oh, my main folder to get to it. I got to go to my CAD 1 and 2 folder. And then my 8th, Darren Worcester. Yours is going to be your 5th, your name. Save to that folder. And let's save this as practice joints. Oh, wait. Sorry. Back up. I still want you to use that format because these are the ones I'm going to be opening up. And I guess I didn't talk to you guys too much about this. See, I'm kind of jumping ahead. The last hour we did it the day before you guys did. You're going to be creating a folder, or you're going to be sharing your folder with me, your one that's called, your name, your hour. All the files within that, I want you to start with that same format. So that way when I open it up, when I have it open there, I can just look and glance up and say, oh, 5th hour, that is, Ransom Polly. Or 5th hour, that's Daniel Christmas. I can see whose it is really quick and really easy. So we're going to start this with 5th, then your first and last name, then practice joints. Oops, and not capitals like that. I accidentally hit capital lock. Yeah, my great typing skills. So, 5th, your name, practice joints is what you're going to save this as that we're starting here, this new drawing, our new assembly. And go save. All right, so now that's going to have this nice and organized for me once you share your folders. And hopefully I can get in there and see things to grade things for you very quickly and very easily. All right. We're actually not going to start with using those 2 parts we just created. Those are going to be a little bit later. So we're going to start by doing an assembly. So go out to your main folder, go to your channels folder, and pull in a 12-inch channel. Oh, darn it. Oh, I am recording. Sorry, that darn it just got on the recording. Oh well. So you're gonna pull this into your folder, rotate this down so your C, the open part of your channel, is facing straight up, just like that. So there's our channel. Okay, so now remember your first step when you're doing something like this. We place this channel in. Remember, it moves all around. Our first step was we need to lock that into place. To do that, you come up here and hover over it in this list. The little pencil shows up. You right-click on it, and you ground that one into place. I moved mine, so it's going to tell me, hey, it's going to move. Yes, okay. So that moved around. Now that one is locked into place. Perfect, beautiful. Now, go ahead and pull in another 12 channel. Place this one just right beside it. Both a little bit of a gap in between, you know, something like that-ish. And put that channel right there. Okay, so now we have our second part here. What we're going to do is we're going to create a joint. So I'm going to go up to my joint command. I'm going to spin this around on the back side here. Pick this first hole down here on the end. Pick the center point of that large hole. For my second point of my joint, I'm going to spin it back around and pick the first hole here, that large hole, the center point of it, and place it there. Now, notice mine's moving around kind of weird. The reason for that is I have a motion set on mine. That's not the motion I wanted. So what I want you guys to do now is click on this motion tab. The default to that, if you haven't changed it, the default is that is called a rigid. That's the one where it's locked into place, it can't move. What I want you to add is a revolute joint. So click on revolute and notice what happens. It shows you how that part revolves around. Go ahead and go OK. And then zoom out here. Then click and hold to grab a hold of that other bar and notice, look at that magic. So what this is used for is if you're making a robot, you know, and you're making a robot and you need to have some clearance on the robot, you know, so you rotate this bar around and it's like, man, I need some clearance. I'm using the top of my screen as the example. It hits that toolbar up there. I need a little bit more clearance. This needs to move down a little bit lower. Okay, let's see. No, it still hits that. Okay, let's move it down a little bit further. You know, so this is the reason. Oh man, it still doesn't work. Oh, hey, now it doesn't hit up there. So it's to see, so you can tell what your parts of your robot are doing as you give them some motion. So that's really kind of handy and kind of nice. Okay, so that was our first joint. And actually, we're not going to do our next one yet. We're going to add one more part to this one. So now, next, we're going to go and scroll through the list of channels. Pull in a 3 channel. So a 3-inch channel. Pull that in there. What you're going to do with this 3 channel, we're going to actually put it on the bottom side of this channel here. So I want to rotate this down in this direction like so. And then rotate it this direction 90 degrees. So we're going to put and join this large hole here to the bottom side of this hole here. So the way that joint's going to look is like this. Joint there to there. Now this joint is going to spin around because again it sticks with what you had last time. We're actually going to change that to a rigid joint. It kind of shakes it around there. It jiggles it a little bit. And there that is. This will still pass through there right now, but we're going to show you how to change that so it does not do that. So, all right, so the next part of this is it passes through this other object like it's not there. What I need you to do is go up here to where it says assemble. Click on that down arrow. And enable all contact. So enable all contact. Click on that button. Now grab this part and rotate it down. And notice what happens. It recognizes that other piece there, and it won't go through it. Now, what you can do is you can do it quickly, and whoa, you can slam it through there. But it does recognize it, and it won't pass it through as you're pulling that through there slowly. Now, the problem this will cause is, this is kind of taxing on all the calculations the computer's doing. So if you have a really complex design, and you have contact sets on everything, and you have a lot of joints that move, it's going to freak out your computer a little bit, and freak out your connection to their servers a little bit. But you can do this as a limited amount of pieces and parts. Your simple little robots that you're going to be creating, you'll probably be able to make it work with that unless you go just really complex with it. All right, so there's that one. Next, let's take a look at this next part. go ahead and go to your, no, not your channels, your brackets folder. And let's pull in the two parts we just made, which was the hole block and the slot bracket. And actually first, let's put this hole block, let's rotate it this way so we can just see it easily. So something like that's beautiful. We'll pull in the slot bracket. And I'll rotate it also, rotate it like so. And like, come on, like that. And something like that. So, hole block and slot bracket placed in like so. Okay, so now what I want you to do is we have these two holes here. Just because I didn't want to have to make another part, we're going to use some of the parts from our Actobotic parts for this next piece. So we're going to go back to our main folder, go down to the shafts folder, and we're going to pull in 2D 1-inch shafts, 2D 1 shafts, 1 inch long. Going to pull in one. I'm going to rotate this down so it's in the correct orientation, something like that. Pull it over, and just go OK. Oops, I kind of got it almost stuck in the middle there. But there's my one shaft. I'm going to put this into this block, and I'm going to go ahead and pull in another shaft. And rotate it down. And there's one other thing I did forget to do, but we'll do that here in just 1 second. So there are my two 1-inch shafts. So the next thing I noticed that I forgot to do, and I just noticed it as I was clicking there, I didn't lock this one into place. We're going to need to ground this one also. So the two-hole block, or the hole block, ground it. So make it, there's a hole block, right-click, and ground. And that'll lock that one into place. Now just go ahead and stick these two pegs into that block. And I'll let you guys do that. Oops, I might have grounded that other one too by accident. I think I did. A little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and put these pins in here in the holes. I'm just going to use joint. I'm going to put the bottom of my peg, bottom center of it, rotate it around, and I'm going to get to the bottom of the hole and stick it down there to the bottom of the hole. Now the question was asked on this flat spot. Really, in all honesty, it wouldn't be this peg that we would typically use here. So we're just going to make it go to the side, so when you slide on it, it's sliding on the normal peg. So I'm just going to make it point there to the side is great, and go OK. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick this other peg in. My other peg is kind of being weird. I think I'm going to stick in a third peg, and I'm just going to delete out that other one, because that other one's just not moving for me. It's being difficult. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I don't know what I did there, so I'm just going to get rid of that one, and that's fine. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and constrain that one into the hole, or join that one into the hole. Okay, so there we're looking great, and I'll delete out that peg. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use another joint. We're going to go joint here. Going to flip it around on this back side, get the center of that slot right there. Ooh, I did not get the center point. Let me try that again. Center that slot there. We're going to put the joint onto the hole. It's actually where the block there, that center point there on that. And right now, notice it's going in and out. That's because on my motion, I have it select to a slider. I don't want a revolute, I want a slider, but it's going in and out. I don't want the Z direction, I want the X direction. On the X, it'll slide back and forth in that direction nicely. We're going to go OK. And now notice with my contact set still set, it slides back and forth nicely like this. There are some other options there on the joint command that you can play with on other pieces and parts. Cylindrical, I really don't know the difference between cylindrical and revolute. It does the same thing as far as I can tell. Pin slot is really kind of crazy. You'll have to play with how that works. Planar would slide around in 2 dimensions, the X and the Y, if you had it down on 2 flat surfaces. And then they had the ball, which would make like a ball joint. It could rotate in all the directions on a ball joint, which would be kind of cool. So those you can play with on your own. There are those. All right.